Petra for High School. This is Stella from Math VIP, a math club at Po항제철고 High School in Korea. Due to various circumstances, we can't meet face-to-face. So we prepared an online math project to introduce you to the fun world of math. Stay healthy, and without further ado, we're going to talk about tessellations. So first, we're going to learn about what is a tessellation, and then learn about regular polygons that can tessellate, and then about periodic and aperiodic tessellations, tessellations in nature, and finally how to make your own tessellation. So first, what is a tessellation? The term tessellation was coined from a small square-shaped tile or stone used in ancient Roman mosaics, and it was called a tessella. These tiles of the same shape do not overlap or create gaps in between, like the tiles you can see on a bathroom floor. When placed to cover a flat surface or space, the sum of the angles at a point where several tiles meet should be 360 degrees. As you can see in these photos, tessellations can be seen in honeycomb patterns, columnar jointing structures, and Escher's artwork. Now let's find out which regular polygons can tessellate. What kind of regular polygon would fill a plane without any gaps? Regular polygons that can tessellate must have 3 or more vertices that meet at one point, and the size of one internal angle must be a factor of 360. So that leaves us with only 3 types of regular polygons that can tessellate. An equilateral triangle, which has an internal angle of 60 degrees, an equilateral square, which has an internal angle of 90 degrees, and an equilateral hexagon, which has an internal angle of 120 degrees. Now, there are 2 types of tessellations, periodic and aperiodic. First, let's look at periodic tessellations. There are 2 types of periodic tessellations, regular and semi-regular. A regular tessellation consists of only one regular polygon, and the polygon arrangement around all vertices is the same. As shown in the picture, there are only 3 types of tessellations, each consisted of equilateral triangles, squares, and regular hexagons. The semi-regular tessellation is a tessellation composed of regular polygons of different shapes around a vertex, and an arrangement of regular polygons is the same at all vertices. Semi-regular tessellations are also called Archimedean tessellations. Archimedean tessellations are named by finding the regular polygon with the smallest number of sides around each vertex. And in the plane, there are only 8 types of anti-regular tessellations, as shown in the plane. For aperiodic tessellations, the pattern is not repeated periodically. As you can see in this picture, there is no periodic repetition of the patterns, so we call it an irregular or aperiodic tessellation. Aperiodic tessellations can be represented by the Penrose tiling, which is a tessellation made by a mathematician, Roger Penrose. Penrose tilings utilize the fact that 2 types of unit shapes that do not have any repeatability can be used to fill a whole plane. The concept of quasi-crystals can be solved by introducing this concept of Penrose tiling. Daniel Chesetman discovered the quasi-crystal through Penrose tiling and won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2011. We can see how these tessellations are used in chemistry. Now let's find about tessellations hiding in nature. When given a fixed perimeter, the shape with the largest area coverage is a circle. However, when several circles are connected, a gap forms, so it is impossible to make a tessellation with circles because it cannot cover the whole plane without gaps. So regular triangles, squares, and hexagons can tessellate, and the hexagon can cover the most space when given the same perimeter. So as you can see in this picture here, the honeycomb structure consists of regular hexagons, and we can say that this is a tessellation we can find in nature. And there are also tessellations in Korean tradition. As you can see here, this is a Korean traditional type of clothing called a bojangi, and you can see that it consists of a tessellation of squares. Last but not least, I'm going to teach you how to make a tessellation yourself. So there are 3 types of tessellations: a translation tessellation, which the shapes repeat by moving and sliding; and a rotation tessellation, which the shapes repeat by rotating or turning. And finally, there is a reflection tessellation, which the shapes repeat by reflecting or flipping. So you can make your own stencil as seen in the picture and cut out a part and then rotate it onto the other side or just flip it over here. And after you create your own stencil, you can make your own patterns and create your own tessellation. So you can create a different character pattern like this. This is also an example of a tessellation. And you can make different pouches or various projects using this mathematical tessellation pattern. And tessellations used in artwork, there's an example of an Escher lizard, and this is a very famous piece of art that uses a tessellation. And as you can see in this picture, these lizards form a tessellation. I hope this International in Change will be a memorable experience for you. Thank you for listening. So in the previous video, we had an opportunity to learn about tessellations and how to make them. Now I will show you how to use these tessellations in real life. So you can make stencils in the type of tessellation you want, and using these stencils you can create your own pattern, and you can make your own pouches and an echo bag, and using different stencils you can create as many patterns as you want. And this is an example of a character stencil that we made, and this is a character Moomin. And you can also make these cute pouches yourself using these tessellations. So these stencils, we handmade these by laser cutting each one of them. And we have sent a bunch of stencils so you can make your own echo bags and own pouches and play around with these tessellations and make your own creative artwork. We are very sorry that we couldn't meet due to the current pandemic, so remember to stay strong and stay healthy, and we hope that this exchange has been a helpful experience for you guys. Thank you for watching.